Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
All right. What's your name?
Rafael,
Raphael. All right. Nice to meet you, Raphael. My name
nice to meet
is
you too.
Jessie. And where are you
Yes,
from?
I'm from Brazil.
Okay. I'm from Malaysia. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay.
Malaysia,
Yes, that's right.
the other side of the world,
Yes, pretty much.
compared with me.
Yep, that's right. And you can see it's daytime here.
Yeah,
Yeah. What
what
time is it
time is
there?
it together?
Hmm?
Here is very late. It's almost 1 p.m., 1 a.m.
Mm, okay, right.
Nice for
Here is 11:42 a.m. So it's not even noon yet.
almost lunchtime.
Yes, almost lunchtime. But here in Malaysia, it's Ramadan now, so a lot of people are fasting.
Oh, I got it.
Do you know Ramadan?
Sorry?
Do you know Ramadan, like fasting during Ramadan? Like people who are Muslim fast during the month of Ramadan.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right, sure.
It's
It
Muslim country.
Yes, Malaysia is is a majority Muslim culture, and so a lot of people are fasting for Ramadan today.
Oh, I
Yeah.
got it.
Okay. All right. So
You
since this is
do
your
you
Mhm.
do you was born there?
Yes, I was born in Malaysia.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay. So today is your first time on Cambly, right?
no,
No.
I already used
Oh, okay.
other times.
Oh, okay. I
But
see. I see.
actually, in this cell phone, I'm trying now.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. So I guess
My
you
first time with
are.
this cell phone.
Hello. Sorry. Can you say that again?
It's my first time with this cell phone.
Okay, all right. So I'm guessing that you are familiar with Cambly and how it works and like how you can use Cambly to learn English and all of that stuff. You're familiar with all those things?
Sorry?
Are you so I guess you must be familiar, right? Familiar. Do you know familiar?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So then I guess you
Uh,
must be familiar with Cambly and how you can use Cambly to practice English and all of those things.
yes. Uh,
Okay.
I, I remember
So
my first time it was very complicated with me.
okay, all right. So how many times have you used Cambly?
It's I think 10 times
10 times. Okay, but you never.
between 5 minutes and 50 minutes, and
Mhm.
I think my class long 1 hour more longer 1 hour.
Okay, all right, all right. So are you planning to subscribe to Cambly? It seems like you like it. If you're using it up to 10 times.
I have I have this. I wanna do it, but
Hmm.
I was not working some month
Mm,
ago, and
okay.
for this reason, I can't buy a
Mm.
plan. But I think the next month I'm gonna get a plan for
Okay.
me practice more times.
All right. I would definitely encourage that, I mean, if it's something that you really like and you find it useful, then it's worth it. Like you think of it as an investment into your education or investment into your self-improvement.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
I have also heard from some of my students that there are some discount codes available online. So maybe you can try to find a discount code and that would make it more affordable for you to subscribe.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. It's a good way, Cambly,
Hmm.
to practice English because if you wanna speak fluently, clearly, it's necessary practice this
Oh
skill.
yes, definitely.
Uh, uh,
I always tell my students that language is a skill, and like any other type of skill, you only get better with practice. So you can read about it as much as you want, but if you don't practice it, then you won't become fluent.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard, it's complicated to speak because sometimes it's we get so nervous and
Mm,
but it's necessary what you said, encourage people to if you because if you not speak
hmm.
it's impossible you speak it fluently
Right.
and
And there are a lot of my students who also talk about this issue of not being confident. And like some of them have been studying the language for a long time. Like they've been taking classes since they were in school and in university and things like that. So they have the knowledge, they know grammar and vocabulary and they're good at reading and all of these
yeah,
things, but they didn't really have the opportunity to speak the language because it's quite difficult to get, speaking practice in a classroom. And so they have the knowledge, but they don't have the confidence to actually use the language.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely here over here it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people um studying English and English schools crowd
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people there, but sometimes if you analyze, it's very few people and speak
Mm-hmm.
truly speak in English.
Mm-hmm.
It's just study because sometimes company asks the people learn English
Mm-hmm.
and whatever, but if you if you see uh, it's very few people and speak English. Sometimes they don't like English. It's just learn English because someone asks for them do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh,
It's a
yeah. I
obligation.
mean,
It's not a
I guess,
pleasure.
I guess it's the same way for learning anything. Like you always learn more effectively when you are self-motivated and it's not someone else making you do it. Like you're learning because you want to
Yeah,
learn. So that's always like the most effective way of
yeah,
learning, I think. Yeah.
yeah.
And what about you?
It's
Like, what is
true.
the reason that you are trying to improve your English?
Yeah, it's very interesting because I can't uh, I didn't imagine
Mm-hmm.
I learn English,
Hmm.
but actually in my high school I didn't like uh, study English and so on. But 1.5 year
Mm-hmm.
ago, I was here at home watching videos about Brazilians that lives in United States,
Mm. Okay.
and I watched that, and oh my God, it's so different. Live there,
Uh-huh.
and it's better, and it's very different compares with here in Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
and it for this reason motivate me. And I have a cat also, and she loves a pair when I'm speaking English
Yeah.
on Cambly.
Yeah.
I think she's sleeping,
Okay. Yeah,
but
I have a couple of cats
I have
and they
videos
always like
and
to walk
she,
in front of the camera while I'm on Cambly. So I was trying to she was trying to walk in front of my laptop. Yeah.
yeah, It's so funny.
Yeah.
And I started to learn English for this reason because I think I have a I need actually I have a wanna to live in United States or to visit there,
Mm-hmm.
and for this reason I started and actually currently uh, n- not stop it
Mm.
more over.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Uh.
I,
Yeah.
I bec
Mm-hmm.
actually I became addicted in English. It's my goal every single day.
Okay.
Every single day I'm reading, I'm watching uh, day by day English
Mm.
do.
Well, I mean
It's
that's
very,
really excellent. That means that you are really self-motivated to learn, and that is probably that is what's going to give you the best chance of success actually, because like I know I have some students who who say they want to learn English, but they're not doing anything outside of Cambly. So they are relying only on Cambly to help them become fluent and help them learn English. But actually, it's not enough, because it's half an hour every day. Okay, it can help, but it's not going to be as effective as like if you were self-motivated and you were learning on your own, you're reading a lot and you're watching things in English and listening to things in English. I mean, that is going to make your learning so much faster, you know
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because sometimes we're anxious
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes we wanna become fluently
Mm-hmm.
faster, and sometimes this is not helping nothing,
Mm.
and sometimes this disturbing our our developing in learning English, but it's necessary consistency
Oh yes,
every single
of
day,
course.
self motivate,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, because I think I always think about it because it's necessary you learn something doing what you like.
Oh yeah.
For example, I try to do it
Mm-hmm.
with English.
Mm-hmm.
If I like soccer, for example, I watch soccer in English. If I like music, I try to listen
Mm.
in English,
Right.
to listen music in English. It's a good it's a good way to learn a new language and having fun.
Mm.
It's
Right,
easier.
right, yeah. And there is also an advantage to learning English through popular culture, like movies and music and things like that, which is that you get to see how the language is used differently. Like if you're only reading books or if you're only reading like articles, like the English that they use is more formal and it's very proper, but the way that people use it in real life, the like what we call the vernacular, right? Vernacular is
Yeah.
different, and I'm sure that this is true in every language, that the way that people use it casually in real life is very different from the way that is used in a written material. So like I do encourage my students to read, to see how proper English is used. But then, if you watch TV and you're like listening to music, you will see that the language is used in a different way. So, it's always good to have exposure to those things as well.
Yeah, I agree with you because each language is so
Mm-hmm.
different. And I have a friend, and he is Brazilian,
Mm-hmm.
but currently he lives in United
Okay.
States. And sometimes he sends me a message when he learns something
Uh-huh.
new. And sometimes if I translate uh, messages in English to Portuguese, my native language. Sometimes it's no sense, doesn't make sense. It's completely different structures,
Yeah.
but if necessary, you understand it's another language, and there's a personal things, and it's necessary what you said. When you learn real situations, it's easier you learn the real life, because sometimes in English schools you learn a lot of grammar, a lot of things, and sometimes in real life you don't use
Right.
it. It's completely different,
Well, I
and
mean, yeah,
and
I think sometimes it's not that you don't use it, but sometimes it's that the information is I mean, you do use the language that they teach, but it's not always necessary to know like the different rules of grammar, or like why the rules are like that. But yeah, I mean, I know what you mean though. Yeah, like even for myself, I the way that I learned English was that we spoke the language at home when we were growing up, right? So it was not something that I learned in a classroom or anything like that. So even for me, I learned to use the language. But I didn't learn the rules of the language. So I didn't really pay attention to grammar and things like that. Like I didn't pay attention to the grammar rules. So I only actually learned the grammar when I started tutoring English, because I would have to explain it to my students what these grammar rules are. But yeah, I learned how to use them without actually learning the rules. So I would say that
yeah,
it's definitely possible to learn to be to learn the language without learning the rules. So depending on the person, for some people it's easier to learn it if you learn the rules, and for some people they can just pick it up without actually learning the rules. So it's just a matter of personal preference. So so besides English, what
yeah,
other languages do you speak? Like obviously you speak Portuguese. How many languages do you
yeah.
speak?
I try. Portuguese, it's very
Ah,
complicated,
okay.
but Portuguese, and I try speaking in
Mm-hmm.
English as well. It's just this
Mm,
language. Uh, I think in the future I can try to learn
yeah,
Spanish, because here in Latin
yeah.
America, uh, if you look at Brazil, it's just Brazil speaking
Mm-hmm.
Portuguese. There are a lot of countries
Yeah,
are surround Brazil and speaking
right.
Spanish, and it's a good language to learn. And you, uh,
Um,
how many
I speak
languages
I
do
speak
you
two
speak?
languages. I speak Malay and English. Malay is my native language. Uh, but I was also thinking that I wanted to try to learn speaking Chinese, because it's a
Chinese.
language that's very widely spoken in Asia. Even in Malaysia, there are a lot of people who speak Chinese. So I thought that it might be a useful language for me.
About
Uh-huh.
coronavirus, what's the situation
Right.
there?
Well, the situation in the country seems to be improving. There are for the last week or so, the number of new cases every day has been going down. So I think for a week now, we've had less than 100 new cases every day. But the market near my house, there's a wet market near my house, was shut down this weekend because they had a case of coronavirus there. So now people in my neighborhood who have been to the market have to go for testing. So yeah, I'm probably going to go get tested this week.
That's good. My time is
Yes, thank
finishing.
you very much for calling.
It's a pleasure
Yes,
with
I
you.
enjoyed the
Until
conversation
next
as well,
time.
and hope to see you again soon when you have subscribed to Cambly. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for calling. Bye. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.
See ya.